Hi everyone, my name is Ramirez and I'm a participant pool coordinator here at UMW. If you're watching this video, then you're probably ready to start setting up your study in SONA, the system that we use to let general psychology students participate in your studies. So, the very first step before we even get into SONA is to get IRB approval. Once you've got an IRB approval, make sure you hang on to that letter because you'll need it later when submitting your study. So, next step after that is we're going to log in to SONA. You're going to want to go to umw.sona-systems.com. Now, the first time that you log in, both your user ID and your password are going to be the first half of your UMW email. This means that if my name was fake student and my email was fstudent@mail.umw.edu, then my user ID would be fstudent. My password would also be fstudent. After you've logged in for the first time, you're going to want to scroll down to where it says My Profile and change your password to something a little more secure. Then, and only one person in your team needs to do this, you're going to click the Create a Study button. Since we're talking about online studies in this video, you're only going to worry about the last two options. If your study only has one part, you're going to click the Online External Study button. But if it has multiple parts, then you're going to click the relevant option down here. Just for the sake of time, I already have an example study set up that we can look at. So this study is called Life Experiences and Health. Under your brief abstract, you're going to want to put about one sentence that gives participants a general idea of what your study is about. This is what the participants will see from the study's homepage. Then, under detailed description, you're going to put what you need the participants to do. This needs to be specific enough that they know what is expected of them, but you also don't want to give away your variables. And you don't want to be too vague or lie to them. So, a good idea is to look at the language in your IRB approval and use that to guide you. If you have any eligibility requirements, this is where you would put them. For the example study, you must be at least 18 years old and identify as transgender or gender nonconforming. Then your duration is going to be in intervals of 30, so this will typically look like either 30 or 60 minutes. Now, we're not trying to get you to hit this number exactly, so if your study is between 1 and 30 minutes, you'll put 30, and if it's between 31 minutes and 60 minutes, you would put 60. Please don't guess at this number, as you don't want to give participants a credit that they haven't earned, but you also don't want to keep them longer and not give them enough credits. So a 30-minute duration will grant 0.5 credits, and a 60-minute duration will grant 1 full credit. Then, if you have any preparation that you need the participants to do before they can participate, you'd put it in this box. Scroll down and click over all of the researchers in your team. A good idea is to do this by last name so that you get the right person. Click over your principal investigator, and then you don't need to worry about the IRB approval code. Make sure your study is set to an active study because otherwise participants won't be able to see it. So we're not going to press any save changes yet because first we're going to go over to Qualtrics. So go ahead and open up your Qualtrics survey. We're then going to go under the Distributions tab, click the anonymous link, and then copy over your survey link. We're then going to go back to SONA and scroll down to where it says Study URL. Paste the link that we got in this box, and then we're not done. We're going to add a little bit of code to the end of it. So you need a question mark, ID equals %, survey in all caps, underscore code in all caps, %. The code is also attached here in the description on SONA, so you don't need to memorize it exactly, and it should also be in the online document talking about online studies. So then we're going to finish up in SONA for now. So if you scroll back up, if there are any prerequisites or disqualifiers, you would press them over here. Then you don't need to worry about an invitation code. You can leave this set at no, and then you don't really want to display the study URL. Typically for online studies, you would want the participant sign-up deadline which is how far in advance participants can sign up for studies. Typically, you would want this set at 0 for online studies. Then all of the rest of this is up to researcher preference. So if you want emails sent to you, depending on signups and cancellations, all of this. And then we're going to go back to Qualtrics for a bit. So we're now going to go back under survey, and we're going to click the second tab icon under called survey flow. Scroll down and press add new element. You're going to want embedded data, and then just type in ID. And make sure that you apply that. Now we're going to make it so that once the participants are done with the survey in Qualtrics, they're going to be redirected to SONA. So, still under survey, go back to the Builder tab. And I didn't save changes, but you would press yes to that. And then scroll down all the way to the end. To where it says end of survey. Click on this, and then under the messaging to the left, you're going to want to put redirect to URL. So we're going to go back to SONA, and you can finally press save changes. And then you're going to want to scroll down to where it says Qualtrics redirect to a URL, and specifically where it says web study credit, because this is what's going to link participants back to SONA when they're done with the study and grant them credit. So you're going to want to copy this link, and then Qualtrics, and you're going to paste it in here. So, okay, and then make sure you save all of your changes. And then when we go back to SONA, everything should be linked up and set. Our last step is we're going to add time slots. So scroll down on your study's homepage to where it says view/administer time slots. So we're going to press add a time slot in the corner. And then, so your final participation date is the last date in which participants can sign up. This means that up until this date, participants can be signing up for your study. So let's say we want this a few weeks out. And then the final participation time is that final time on that date in which participants can sign up. And then your number of participants is how many credits you're going to give out. So if it was set to 100, that means it would allow 100 people to get credits for this survey. And then you would click add this time slot, and participants can now sign up for your study. And then finally, we're going to submit our study for approval. So you go back to My Studies and click onto your study, and then press the Send Request button. So you don't necessarily need to leave a comment here unless there's something you want me to know, but what you do need to do is choose File and then upload your IRB approval request. I can't approve your study without seeing this first, so please make sure that you've attached it. And then go ahead and press Send Request. It won't give you a notification to verify that you sent request, so please only press this once, as otherwise I'll get multiple approval requests. If you make any changes to Qualtrics, please know that it won't necessarily automatically update in SONA. So it's a good idea to have everything sorted out with Qualtrics first before you do any of the stuff in SONA. After you send in your study request, it'll take me anywhere from 24 to 48 hours to approve it. After that time, you'll either get an email confirming that your study has been approved, or I'll email you with any questions or concerns that I may have. This means that there'll be a little buffer time between when you send in your request and when it becomes approved. So please plan for this. I know that this was a lot of information, so please don't hesitate to reach out with questions, and you can watch this video over as many times as you need. Good luck with your studies!